His Excellency Eugene Holiday, Governor General of St. Martin, the Honorable Richard Gibson, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance of St. Martin, the Right Honorable Sir Dennis Byron, President of the Caribbean Court of Justice, and Lady Norma Byron, Honorable Judges of the Caribbean Court of Justice, and Mrs. Gloria Nelson, Mrs. Marilyn Saunders, and Mrs. Linda Hayton. Her Honor, Madame Justice Yannette Cummings Edwards, Chief Justice of Guyana. Her Honor, Madame Justice Zela McCullough, Chief Justice of Jamaica. Her Honor, Madame Justice Margaret Ramsey Hill, Chief Justice of the Turks and Caicos Islands. His Honor, Mr. Justice Dennis Morrison, President of the Court of Appeal of Jamaica. The Honorable Mrs. Marlene Malahoo Fort, Attorney General of Jamaica. The Right Honorable Lady Justice Arden of the United Kingdom Court of Appeal. Sir Trevor Carmichael, Attorney at Law. The Honorable Mr. Michael Hilton, Attorney at Law. Mr. Alan Wood, Chairman of the General Legal Council of Jamaica. Mr. Earnott Craigfield, Dean of the St. Martin Bar Association. Distinguished and esteemed presenters, officials of government, officials of national and international organizations, members of the inner and outer bar, students at the Hugh Wooding and Norman Manley Law Schools, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. To the best of my knowledge and belief, the foregoing represents the protocol list for this conference. And I would ask for your show of approval in the usual way. Clap. Thank you. Having thus obtained your approbation, I now crave your further indulgence. In the interest of time, I ask that for the remainder of the conference, speakers are allowed to establish protocol simply by reference to this order of precedence, whilst of course retaining freedom to recognize such specific dignitaries as they feel obliged. Do I have your approval? Thank you. And now on to our very first speaker, the Honorable Richard Gibson, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance of St. Martin. Minister Gibson.
On behalf of the Prime Minister of St. Martin, the Honorable Mr. William Marlin, the Government of St. Martin and the people of St. Martin, it gives me great pleasure to welcome all conferees to St. Martin. We are thankful to the Caribbean Academy of Law and Court Administration for choosing St. Martin for its 4th Biennial Conference, and we stand ready to meet all your needs. You've landed on an island that boasts of having 32 white sand beaches, friendly people, and mouth-watering cuisine that will haunt your memory for years to come. St. Martin is a small island administered by two different governments, one Dutch and one French. In terms of dispute resolutions, I urge you to take note of the way St. Martin was divided. Time does not permit me to elaborate on this, but as an appetizer, I can assure you that they did not go to court, and that a good bottle of Dutch gin played a significant role in settling the dispute. It suggests that a good bottle of Dutch gin is the way to go instead of going to court. By the way, a good locally brewed guava berry would serve just as well. Again, I welcome you, and I trust that you will have productive deliberations during your conference, and most of all, I trust you will have a most enjoyable stay on St. Martin, accompanied, of course.
I threw away my speech because as I looked at everyone coming in this morning, my heart filled with gratitude that there was so much support for the vision of this conference, and the idea that all of you have contributed in so many ways to supporting something which is an important part of the vision of the Caribbean Court of Justice was very touching to me, and I wish to say thank you to you all. And then I saw our hosts. Now, St. Martin, you might think, is French and Dutch, but it is also part of the OECS. And I must say, I have known the Deputy Prime Minister, Richard Gibson, because in the early days of my practice of law in this region, he was the foremost advocate in this part of the Caribbean. And so I'm very happy that St. Martin has demonstrated its interest in integration and in promoting the ability for the common law and civil law systems to interact as we look forward to stimulating commercial harmonization, judicial integration, and transnational development in our region. As you know, our court is very much interested, as an international court, in promoting sensitization to concepts of private international law, commercial, and alternative dispute resolution. So thank you very much to St. Martin, Your Excellency, and Mr. Prime Minister. Of course, that includes the current Bar Association leadership as well. The General Legal Council of Jamaica has been the leader in establishing the concept of continuing legal education as a tool for improving the quality of justice delivery in our region. And at the Caribbean Court of Justice, we are very happy that we have been able to partner with them in this exercise. And we hope that if this program works well, it will inspire other bar associations to follow this example so that we can now have an important regional standard for legal continuing education in our region. And finally, I must say a word of thanks to the leadership of OHADAC. OHADAC is an institution located in Guadeloupe. It's supported by the French government. And its objective is to develop harmonized commercial law arbitration practices in the broader Caribbean region, encompassing Spanish, French, Dutch, and English Caribbean. Their participation in this program today, I hope, will help to open our minds to the work that they are doing and to see to what extent that we can embrace them or they can embrace us in the development of their programs. And lastly, I must say thanks to the Calca. The chairman and his committee have worked very hard putting on this program. And I think they've already done, it's obvious that quite a good job has been done. So I trust that as the next few days go on, that the high expectations that have been established by this wonderful commencement to the proceedings will be rewarded by learning as the presenters exhibit the highest quality of erudition and legal acumen that you could imagine. So without further ado, I trust that you all have a wonderful program. All the best.
It's a privilege for the General Legal Counsel to have been invited to participate by the CCJ and Calca in the co-hosting of this conference. As a regulatory body for the Jamaican profession, the Council determined several years ago that it was essential to have a properly structured program of continuing legal education, or as we call it, professional development. Following the enactment of enabling legislation, we commenced that program in January of 2013, whereby it is mandatory for attorneys to remain and participate in the accreditation process by attending mandatory seminars. The Council's program, now approaching its 4th year, led by Committee Chair, Honorable Dennis Morrison, President of the Jamaica Court of Appeal, and Honorable Michael Hilton, former Chairman of the Council, has been a resounding success. The Council has gained a great deal of expertise and material, which it will be more than happy to share with other associations who wish to embark on such a program. This conference represents our first attempt to host such a CLPD program outside of Jamaica. I can think of no better choice than St. Martin for the holding of this conference. I enjoin persons who are unfamiliar with St. Martin to avail themselves of every opportunity to explore this beautiful and culturally diverse island. For those so inclined, I am reliably informed that there is even a famous beach where full dispensation from the formalities of conference attire can be had. Excellency, on behalf of the General Legal Counsel, I wish to thank the government of St. Martin for all the courtesies that have been extended, and particularly for granting the necessary dispensations for those attorneys coming from Jamaica to attend this conference. In closing, I wish you all an enjoyable and rewarding conference.
Protocol has been established. On behalf of the St. Martin Bar Association, I would like to welcome everybody to the Friendly Island. It is truly wonderful to see so many people from different Caribbean countries join us here today. In particular, that when you realize that we are all gathered here together because of our mutual passion for law. When you work on the island of St. Martin, you quickly become used to the fact that the island in fact consists of 2 countries, and that each have their own jurisdiction, their own courthouse, their own bar association, and even their own bars. Both the French and the Dutch legal system, however, are grounded in the Code Civil, which is why it is so interesting that we can now start exchanging stories and experiences with those coming from a common law background. This conference provides an excellent opportunity for both civil and common lawyers, jurists and others to come together to explore the differences as well as the similarities between both legal traditions. The organizing committee has worked extremely hard to provide you with an interesting and truly diverse conference schedule. No matter where your legal interests may lie, whether it be arbitration, tax law, or even human rights, we are sure that the conference schedule will bring something to the table for everyone, and we hope that discussions are sparked until long after the lectures are given. Now, for those of you who have a chance to peek out the window tomorrow morning, you will see the last KLM Boeing 747 flight depart from St. Martin. The coming and going of the Royal Dutch Bluebird was a true experience on St. Martin, and as a Dutchie, I will always think very fondly of it. Similarly, we hope that when you depart from St. Martin, you will also leave with fond memories. Hopefully, you will board your plane, whether it's blue or not, with a head filled with new knowledge, a belly filled with delicious food, and perhaps even some great stories about the conference. Most of all, we hope that your heart is filled with enthusiasm and to come join us in the next conference on law, wherever it may be held. Again, welcome everybody to the beautiful island of St. Martin on behalf of the St. Martin Bar Association, and we hope you have a wonderful and inspiring time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Caribbean Academy for Law and Court Administration, Calca, was established by the Caribbean Court of Justice in 2012 to, and I quote, advance knowledge, training, and research in the practical application of law, especially international law, and in the administration of justice in the Caribbean context, end of quote. Calca's flagship event is the Biennial Conference held in 2010, 2012, 2014. This, the 4th Biennial Conference, is convened this morning in the picturesque St. Martin in partnership with the General Legal Council of Jamaica, St. Martin Bar Association, the Organization for Harmonization of Business Law in the Caribbean, OHADAC, and with sponsorships from several regional institutions and entities. The theme of the conference is Law at the Crossroads, reappraising the role of common law and civil law practitioners in transnational development. This title is a clear explanation for the choice of St. Martin as the venue of our convocation. St. Martin is close to being the geographical center of the archipelago of Caribbean islands and territories stretching from the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos in the north, to Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana in the south. It is a Caribbean island where Dutch meets French, duty-free shopping meets willing foreign shoppers, and where over the next 3 days, common law practitioners will meet their civil law counterpart in an unprecedented and rich exchange of views and visions about the content and the practice of law. But beyond the 4 corners of the law, civil law and common law practitioners meet here to create space for a dialogue as to how best to ensure that the law contributes to the development of their societies. For make no mistake, in many Caribbean nations, the legal project is itself in jeopardy, and in some, a state of crisis. The repose of public confidence in the law and in its ability to guarantee public good in such areas as ensuring security or protecting public health or the environment or facilitating economic development is increasingly being brought into question. In this sense, therefore, the law itself is at a crossroads. The fourth biennial conference has assembled an impressive list of presenters to speak about cutting-edge legal issues in a beautiful location. Calca and its partners thank you for your investment of time and resources in attending the conference. We have worked assiduously to ensure that the conference will be worth your while, and we hope you find it so. Thank you very much. And now we are promised a cultural intervention.
Feel me. Can you feel the beat? Can you feel the spirit? Can you hear my words? I can make it come alive. Can you feel the beat? Can you feel the spirit? Can you hear my words? I can make it come alive. Can you feel the beat? Can you feel the spirit? Can you see my dance? I can make it come alive. I can make it come alive. Can you feel the beat? Can you feel the spirit? Can you hear my words? I can make it come alive. Can you see my dance? Make it come Feel me. Feel me through my words. Feel me through my drum. Feel the artist in me. Touch the artist in you. Feel as we become. Feel me as I become one with the earth, the wind, the air, the ocean, the rivers, the dirt, and the sun. Feel me as I sway like the trees in the wind. Feel me as my hands sound the thundering heartbeat of the drum. The movement of my body releases all negative thoughts and throws them to a jungle where they can be lost. But as I speak each word, each phrase, each sentence, each paragraph, my story, your story, our book, I feel stronger at the end, knowing I am right here for writing words with a pen. Can you feel the beat? Can you feel the spirit? Can you hear my song? I can make it come alive. Can you feel the beat? Can you feel the spirit? Can you hear my words? I can make it come alive. Can you feel the beat? Feel the spirit? Can you see my dance? Make it come alive. Make it come alive. Make it come alive. Make it come alive.
I think that deserves another round of applause.